Welcome to the Battle of Waterloo. What is up, guys? Goody here, and welcome to an epic battle. So today we are on Waterloo, and this is going to be a 4v4. So historically, the French are going to be attacking the Prussians and the British on this hill, and it's going to be a showdown. So we try to bring a historical aspect into this. There are some basic rules, so the attackers do have a slight advantage. So let's get right into the rules. So rules were 2 artillery max for the attackers, and then max 3 lights. And then as for the defenders, rules were 1 artillery max, max 3 lights, and they can only bring regular cannonballs. So you guys will see a lot of 8-pounders and so on. I'm going to be in command of the left flank. Let's go over my army comp real quick. So starting off with my general, I've brought Marshal Ney. So we try to bring it historically accurate general. So we also have Napoleon here as well, and we'll get to him very shortly. So starting in the back, we got some Lancers moving our way up. As reserves, we got the Old Guard, 2 units of those guys. We brought a lot of Swiss foot, as well as some Fusiliers. And then in the front, I brought 2 lights consisting of the 6th Regiment and the Chasseurs. So in total, this battle was about 15,000 men, and you see the action already starting. So this is going to be a huge battle. These units are on Ultra, so around 15,000 men are on this battlefield right now, and this is a very, very tiny map. For that. So it's going to be a lot of bloodshed and a lot of hectic, movements going on. So prepare yourselves, guys. Get some popcorn, get a nice drink, and let's get right into the action. So for our ally on the right side of me, he also went with a similar build, but bringing a lot more elites. You see he's brought some young guard as well as a lot of old guard. But right now you can see these artillery pieces are just ripping us apart right now. These 12-pounders destroying my lines. This one ripped a hole straight through my guys, and you see the bloodshed of men. Men still trying to get up. Look how many men it knocked over right there. Ridiculous amount. Little surprised those guys can survive a cannonball head-on, but I guess they are made of steel. And we'll keep on pushing. So looking at the British now, looks like he's going to be taking up a defensive position along this ridge side. What's nice about this is there is no crossing point, so it's going to leave a big or a little choke point here, as well as on the left side of the battlefield. So that is where I'm going to be attacking, but right now we are setting up our formations, and we're actually going to allow our artillery to get a couple volleys off before we do end up pushing. But just taking a look at the sheer numbers, I mean, look at these guys pushing up. Ridiculous numbers, and still artillery knocking my guys over right now, because they're still pushing though. Just a trail of bodies. So our artillery is still going to be pushed up. It seems like everyone's brought 6-inch howitzers, so a lot of artillery. I believe that is 8 artillery pieces in total of howitzers, so that is a lot of cannons. You see me and my ally are now going to start forming up here. But this artillery is just ruthless right now. Taking a look at the defensive position, you can see he's kind of leaving this house open for grabs right now. And we did notice that during the start of the battle. So we were thinking about taking it, but we were still very iffy because he did have a lot of foot guards nearby. As for the other buildings though, they are going to be held up in defense. We got some King's German Legion foot here defending this central building. And then it looks like, ooh, beautiful shot there. Landing straight into the foot guards. Beautiful shot. Actually scaring the general away. But for this building, it's going to consist of some Prussian Fusiliers as well as some foot guards. And now our artillery is about to be unleashed. Getting some pretty nice volleys in, and they're just training their guns onto the British and the Prussians. But the bloodshed is about to get immense. But he does have a lot of reserves here, consisting of, I believe, 6 musketeers, so good reserve force, and he's going to be able to fill a lot of gaps. The amount of explosions this battle are going to be ridiculous. Just taking a look from a distance, the amount of volleys being fired, sending guys flying left and right now. That volley got a good 30 guys, so very, very deadly volleys from the 6-inchers. So now the Sleazy and Schützen are actually going to get their volleys off. They do have the range advantage, and you can see my guys are going to be walking into position. Miss micro there, but now they're going to be running. We will see if these Sleazy and Schützen are as accurate as they say. And by the looks of it, they are nailing my guys right now as they continue to push up. Losing a good 30 guys there in that first volley. So I'm going to push up now and commence this attack. We are pushing up all our guys, reserve forces as well. Old Guard still going to be in the back as a secondary line. But now my guys are going to get some return volleys, getting some pretty nice kills here. But they are on this hill, so they are going to suffer less losses. Got artillery support here. And I'm actually going to be targeting the reserves because I do not want them coming to the front lines and bothering me. So I'm going to try and take those guys out as quickly as I can, or at least as many people as I can. You can see the 12-pound foot artillery is going to be shifting over to the right side. Pretty interesting move. It looks like he's kind of getting scared with my troop movements, how close I'm getting. But now the push is going to start. We're going to be taking this building, seeing that they do not want to take it. Artillery is going to be suppressing them as they run backwards. And there goes the first building to us. So, good start here by France. And now I'm going to be pushing my Swiss foot. They're going to be the frontal assault. And they're going to be getting very, very close, these foot guards. As you can see, there are some light dragoons coming in. I do notice these guys as they start running in. So I'm going to form square at the right time and start sending these guys flying. Getting some point-blank volleys in as well. Very nice. Same as over here, it looks like another unit tried to charge in as well. Foot guards did form square too, but now my guys in square are shooting at everything they see right now, and hell is being unleashed. As for the center, pretty calm right now. We do have a slight skirmish engagement, another good volley there by the artillery. But very calm in the center right now. Mainly the action is going to be consisting is over here. So now I'm going to be charging into melee. Good move here with the placement of these light infantry. They're actually going to be shooting my flank as I continue to charge in. And now the bodies are going to start piling up. Still trying to target those Sleazy and Schützen. Cavalry now being pushed in right now. Good cavalry charge. But the amount of reserves we have are just insane, and we're going to continue to keep throwing these guys towards the Prussians and the British. So using our artillery as support right now, we are actually able to push up pretty far, and I actually managed to slip a Fusilier unit along the hillside, and now I'm able to engage on pretty, flat ground. Musketeers up against Fusiliers. Going to run those guys into position. But complete bloodbath right now. We're actually starting to lose quite a bit of units as we continue to push. But the units we keep pushing in are just going to fill those gaps. Looks like we got some foot here. Now they're going to be forming up as well to get some nice shots on these Swiss foot, it seems. Or maybe they're going in for a slow melee charge. Who knows? Adjusting their lines. Will they get a point-blank volley off? No, they will not, but they're going to get into melee. That's going to help out a lot. Looks like we got some Prussian Lancers trying to charge into the Voltigeurs. Not the best of charges. They didn't manage to break those guys just because there's militia units behind them. But good try there by the Prussians. But you see our French push is just overwhelming right now. Good 10, 12 units are over here engaging in this massive melee engagement. And you see the old guards are now being pushed up to the front lines. We do need their morale, so by having them next to the regular lines, it's actually going to help the morale of our own troops, meanwhile deteriorate the morale of the enemy. And you can see the units are now starting to break, but they do have lines that are in reserves that are going to be filling those gaps. So even though we're breaking these units, they're going to be filling them back up. Another big charge here by my young guard. I actually have my lancers now charging into the enemy French lancers. I'm going to get those guys to break very, very quickly. So the push is still continuing, charging one by one into the next unit, this time into the foot guards. But the Prussians and the British are having a hard time repelling this attack right now. You can see the amount of bodies already starting to pile up is just insane. Morale for the Musketeers still dropping quite a bit, and our reserves are nowhere near depleted because we are still throwing in troops. This time it is consisting of all old guard and young guards, so extremely elite troops now being pushed up, and this should really help this attack go much smoother. Over here we got some French lancers charging into my own lancers. You can see the Polish Legion did form square at the right time and actually catch my guys off guard, but my morale is still very strong compared to the Prussian lancers, so that is good. And I'm going to continue this charge once more, and this time into the foot guards. And he's actually charging his own guys right now. Not the best of moves, but the amount of bloodshed is just ridiculous. Bird's eye view right now, complete mess. A ton of losses, a lot of routing troops. Looking at the mini-map, a lot of action. And now in the center we have quite the combat. We got a melee charge actually from the French in the center now. They're going to be charging down the center into the Musketeers. And pretty much all over now is a melee and skirmish engagement. You can see on this hill right now, Chasseurs engaging against the rifles. It's going to be a good engagement over here. Seeing that there are a lot of French units over here on the left flank, looks like this British player did notice that and are going to start shifting over troops to help that flank out. That's going to help a lot over here, just because these guys are getting very depleted. But so are the French units. You can see the numbers are starting to drop pretty heavily now. Most of these units are, if not half health, below half health, so really losing a lot of guys right now. And I'm going to try to charge these lancers into the backs of these foot guards and hopefully do some hammer and anvil strikes. And that was a pretty good cav charge, but foot guard morale is very, very strong, so it's going to be a hard time breaking those guys. I'm actually shifting over some artillery units, or excuse me, targeting the artillery over here, and that's going to help out with the morale of my guys if they land in the right spot. You guys will see that some shots are not as lucky as others and actually will hit our own guys, which is a shame, but it is what it is. Over here though, the elites are being pushed up. I did clear a pathway for those guys, and now they're going to be engaging these lights and musketeers in the forest over here. And since they are on even ground, it's going to help them out a lot. In the center, we're actually going to be storming the center building now. Highland Foot trying to control it, but looks like we have made a pathway through, and they're still working their way on the first floor to the second floor. Over here, it looks like some National Guard got a little bit too close to this house and actually did break. You see this house is just full of elite troops, so it's going to be a huge pain trying to get to these guys, especially with the house being on the flank. It's going to help their morale out a lot. Got some very close artillery strikes here, but the engagement is still continuing. Over here, the Old Guard and the Young Guard doing a great job on breaking these musketeers. Musketeers and rifles have no chance against such elite troops, so they're going to be fighting till the last man, or at least some of these units. Their morale is getting very, very bad. Over here though, we got some foot guards in square right now, very scared from what is around them, so they're going to be forming square and hopefully protect this right flank, but you can see we have really started to push these guys back by quite a bit. You can see reserve lines now being pushed into use. And it looks like we managed to take out the center as well. We still have some rifles, but look at this. This artillery piece is still active, and they're actually going to be shooting canister. So we have to be very cautious with our movements, not to get too close. Otherwise, we're going to get a face full of lead. But over here on the right flank, the push is happening still. These guys still control the ridge, and that is not good at all because they got a really good angle on us. And it only takes a couple units to help counter that entire force. Push is still continuing. But over here, got some Fusiliers up the line, about to get some really nice shots off on these foot guards. Beautiful volleys. And these foot guards stand no chance, and they do end up breaking. So at this point, I'm getting very low on units. I've pretty much stressed all my resources on that first initial push. I was the leading guy, so it is expected of me to take the most losses at the first. And look at that. Managed to kill the first general staff unit for the Prussians. That's not going to be good for their morale. But the general staff is still continuing the charge. And it looks like they're going to be trying to run towards my artillery piece. But with only 2 guys, they are going to make it nowhere near us. And look at this. One of our own generals have died. Marshal Sout has died. And looks like a cannonball managed to take him out. Let's try to locate his body if we can. I believe this might be... Let's see, where is he? Here he is. A dead man. Artillery just blasting him. You can see where the artillery actually impacted the ground and just took his life. So just like that, 2 generals are dead. We actually did manage to take this second building. Highland Foot trying to escape, getting choked, and end up dying. So taking 2 buildings now, that is going to be extremely helpful. But it looks like the foot guards want it back, so they're going to be charging in more units into the fray, and they're going to try and take this house back from these Swiss foot units. Over here though, big push, or at least a decent push by the French units. They're going to try and charge into these foot guards, or foot. We still have the Prussian artillery engaging. They are still very active and causing a lot of damage for us, so we need to take these guys out as well. Meanwhile, we've got the British general just chilling in the back, watching the engagement as it happens. And over here we have Emperor Napoleon on his horse. Now, with Napoleon, you really don't want him dead, so we have him very, very far back, making sure nothing happens to him, because if Emperor Napoleon does die, it's going to significantly deteriorate the morale. So with winning the flank, it's going to be helpful with the push against the British, because they're going to have to overextend their lines, and with doing so, it's going to create weak points amongst the line, and that's going to be very beneficial towards us. So while they are extending their lines to pretty much the fullest, we're going to continue to actually attack, and we're actually going to be charging into the building here. But it's going to be a complete bloodbath, and we have actually artillery shooting our own guys. And with that blow, comes a mass rout of French troops, just destroying that entire line. And look at that, just like that, all these units are actually going to start routing from the battlefield, getting shot as they retreat. Horrible artillery strikes. These guys should be ashamed, and they're still shooting their own guys. Not good at all. That one hit just decimated these guys. So it looks like they're going to be holding the building for a much longer period of time now, seeing that that has happened. What a shame. But anyways, it looks like the British and the Prussians are going to retreat to this barn over here. Looks like the elite troops are having a tough time trying to get into melee combat, or at least into this house. A couple guys did manage to make it to the second floor, but very isolated. I doubt they will make much of an impact. Killing a couple guys as they move throughout the barn, though. We'll see if they are able to hold off this British defense. running across the barn, actually going up the ladder now onto the rooftop, saying hello to the British lights and getting stabbed. Very nice stab. So while that is happening, the flank is still continuing, and the routing troops are still routing in a massive blob right now. They are glitched on the ridge. This is going to allow the enemy forces to get some really nice shots in. But we do hold the center, but look at this. It looks like that one foot guard that did take that house, or managed to get it back. So we're going to have to put more troops in now to get it back once again. And there we go, forcing them back out again, and this time for good. So they're going to be trying to retreat just like the Highland Foot. Will they make it out alive to tell the tale of this epic battle? It looks like they will. So with the house in control, I would say we dominate 2/3 of this battlefield. But still, these guys are far from giving up. The battle is still in anyone's favor right now, especially with this house being in control. And it looks like some foot guards actually trying to slaughter the French. Getting some pretty good kills there. But they're actually going to be retreating just because there are some Swiss foot trying to defend their own troops. But they're still going to be glitched. Great shots by the artillery. Over here, though, the barn engagement is still happening. Looks like the lights did manage to hold off the French attack on the rooftop. Still a big engagement in this courtyard right now. Getting some point-blank volleys in. But slowly, the elite French troops are making their way closer and closer to the tops of the barn. And now starting to overwhelm the second floor and moving over to the top floor, engaging these skirmishers. Looks like we have some lifeguards now being pushed in. They were a reserve cav force, but seeing that their flank is starting to be destroyed, they're going to be charging in, and there we go. We did manage to take the barn, and now we control 3 out of the 4 houses on this map. Looks like the British artillery still pounding our guys and actually shooting, it seems to be canister, into these fusiliers. Melee charge here by the Polish Legion, but breaking on impact. King's German Legion afoot were there to easily repel those guys. And it looks like the Old Guard are actually going to be breaking. These lifeguards are actually really doing a lot of damage, and they're actually going to be charging into my other Old Guard unit. And this time, these guys are not going to be as fortunate and break. Let's take a look at whose general is dead now. It seems to be some general has run onto stakes. Not too sure if that's the case because I can't see any. Okay, so it looks like he put his general staff unit inside this line, and his officer did die. Actually, he didn't. Very strange. Don't know where his general did die at. You see, I'm actually going to be charging my own general in now. Marshal Ney is going to try and defend his artillery over here, but did end up giving his own life away. But it was definitely worth it. Being able to protect the artillery is much more important than his own life from his viewpoint. So, very brave of him to do so, and very worth it for his troops. Since these guys are still alive, they are going to get payback for the death of their own general. So they're going to be pounding these guys to shreds. They're going to try and make their way down, though, getting very close. We will see if they can manage to get there. Losing a lot of guys as they push along. And look at that. Great volley and breaking these guys just feet away from killing my artillery. See some friendly fire happening there. So with them breaking, it looks like they're pretty much out of cavalry now. We got some foot guards trying to breach this barn, but the elites do manage to hold and are going to start slaughtering these guys as they retreat back. So a final stand is about to be held now in this house. Artillery is going to be blasting these guys left and right. I think the Prussians and the British ordered a fireworks parade, so they're going to be having a good time dancing in there to some nice fireworks overhead. Maybe a little too close for comfort, but you know, doesn't hurt anyone that much. But while they are celebrating and having a good time in that house, we're going to be reorganizing and getting ready to take these guys out. And that is starting off with the Swiss foot. They're going to be the first units to try and attack this house. Actually, I take that back. They're going to be getting charged in the back by the Duke of Wellington himself. And that unit just got destroyed. Duke of Wellington doing his best to protect his guys. So it seems like a lot of these generals besides Napoleon are just risking everything for their men right now. Where is Napoleon though? There he is. Still in the back lines. Did suffer a couple of losses, but it looks like he himself is actually going to be getting some action as well. So I take that back. Seems like all the generals are willing to die for their men. He's enjoying the fireworks right now. Beautiful display of fireworks, and I'm sure the French are as well. Let's take a look inside. Looks like the British and Prussians were so happy about the fireworks. They're actually on the roof right now, enjoying the show, so very nice to see them enjoying what the French have given them, appreciating the show. But the fireworks show is about to end, and that is due to our guys rushing in and storming this building. We do not want any more friendly fire, so we're going to call off the shots and now have our final goodbyes to the British and the Prussians as they try to make a final stand. Looks like we got the drummer boy in the center of this square right now, trying to inspire his men. But you see, final few units in this building here. We have also the foot guards that tried to storm the barn over here as well. So definitely a final stand. You can see the amount of units in this building here is just insane. But breaking through the courtyard now into the building, actually managing to get very, very close to the second floor. But it looks like some of the French troops are going to start breaking. Not good on morale, but they're going to shove more guys in there, consisting of some young guard and foot guards. And there they go. Let's see if they make it to the second floor. Not yet. Extremely loud. But one by one, the units are breaking. Down to the final unit now. And they do end up all breaking. And same over here with the foot guards. So, extremely epic battle. Whew. These guys are about to get smoked. But anyways, guys, what an epic battle. Let's take a look at the stats. So I managed to lose 1,700 guys and kill about 1,700. I was negative in the negatives by 3 guys. Graber doing a good job staying positive and actually getting the most kills out of all of us. Just the tip over here, getting 1,800 kills. And then Knight getting 1,000. So taking a look at our opponents, they did not do as great, but they definitely did put up quite the fight. Strong getting 1,100 kills, Philip with 1,300 kills, Craven with 1,300, and Jean with 1,500. So great job from them. As for the kills of my artillery, getting 208 kills, total of 2 chevrons. And 0 losses. Talk about a good KD. Old Guard up next. Those guys were in the mixed of the melee, and they took a lot of losses, but they did kill quite a bit. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this 15,000 man battle. It was so epic to watch, and very, very fun to play. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, remember to leave a like and comment down below what I should do next. So anyways guys, thank you so much, and I will see you guys later.